Redditors who had Shreks with their best friend. How did it happen and did your friendship change afterwards? Serious. I slept with my close guy friend 4 months after going through a hard breakup with someone else. We were able to stay friends afterwards, but things have definitely changed for the worse now that he has a new girlfriend. She's said before that she feels uncomfortable around me, which I understand. Any person he dates from now on is probably going to feel that way, so I know we'll never get back the close friendship we had. Definitely something I never thought about when I chose to cross that line. Well, I'd always liked her, but didn't want to risk the friendship. Turns out she was thinking the same thing the whole time. For about 5 years. She was just a physically affectionate friend to everyone, so I didn't think anything of her constantly touching me in ways that would usually be considered flirting. At some point one of our mutual friends, who I hadn't told, let slip by accident that she had a mega crush on me, and I couldn't believe it. I asked my friend, and she said it was true. I confided my feelings as well, and we got busy fast. Because we both felt we'd spent enough time together to be sure of each other, and now it's been a year and a half, and we're still together and still in that honeymoon phase. I'm a very lucky dude, and I know everyone won't be so lucky, but there is hope, my dudes. Ruined a perfectly good friendship. We later married and have been together ever since. I went over to his house one day to hang out. We had joked about just having Shreks with each other since neither of us were getting any, and well, one thing led to another. We're engaged now. We had been close friends for a couple of years, but the Shrek-shill tension was palpable. Most people who saw the two of us together thought we were a couple, but we both had too much baggage to get involved. 2 days before I was moving across the country we were drunk as hell, we usually were, and I asked him if he wanted to frick. So we did. For all the Shrek-shill tension we had, the Shreks wasn't particularly memorable. We spoke a fair amount after I moved, but eventually fell out of touch. I don't know if that was because of the Shreks or just distance and time. I spent my 4 years of high school with a good boyfriend, but my best friend was broken up with in the same week I was, in a super similar way, right after the summer of our graduation. We kinda bonded over it and he kissed me because of circa emotions, Sarah, but I told him I didn't feel the same and he was really respectful about it. He joined the Navy and I sent him a bunch of letters in boot camp. A few months later, I saved up and flew 2,000 miles to go visit him on base. We stayed the weekend together, and Shreks happened. To be completely honest with you, after he fell asleep I totally flipped out. I was a wreck. I thought we were never going to be able to look one another in the eye afterward, but we got up, had breakfast in a little cafe, and went to the library holding hands. We've been together since. I love him more than life itself. I've never been in a relationship that felt more natural and healthy. We still talk like old friends. He calls me doll and dearest. I'm enamored. We were friends. Agreed to be FWB. Are now dating for a couple years now. Other than the Shrek-shill aspect of it, we're still two goofballs who make each other laugh. So nothing really changed all that much. Following her breaking up with a guy she had been with for a couple years, we had Shreks about 4 times the last month of senior year after being super close friends all throughout high school. It was no secret that I had a thing for her the entire time, but she never really saw me that way. At that point we just kinda got stuck in this weird limbo between not wanting to date, but not being able to go back to being friends, and wound up getting into a huge fight before she left the state for college. Obviously the friendship was never truly rekindled, but we still talk occasionally. She wound up getting back together with the guy and only seems to text me when shit's not going right with him. A mutual friend told me that she had said she regretted not dating me, but at this point frick that. I'm not gonna be a dong, but she had her chance. Wouldn't call her my best friend, but a very good friend I grew up with. I wish it never happened. She got super freaking weird afterward and it completely ruined our friendship. After a year of attempting to ease it back to what we had before, I got the hint and stopped bothering her. She's engaged now and I wasn't even invited to the wedding, which really freaking hurts. It's led to 6 months of regular Shreks and then to an actual relationship that's so far at 4 years and going strong. We went to California for about a week to visit some friends and go to a concert. I had been in love for close to 6-7 years, but she had a boyfriend, so I put my feelings to the side. We went and had an absolutely great time, movie montage type stuff. She'd previously told me how bad her relationship was and how she wasn't happy anymore and was tired of being treated like a second-class citizen, and I joked about how I would treat her better, and I guess that stuck with her. Because we had our first kiss, it was awkward. I blew it right before heading out to meet with friends, and I guess had our first official date at Disneyland the next day. We've been together just over 2 years now and I'm planning on proposing the next time we're in California. PSC virus, please leave, I've waited long enough. We fricked the first time we were left alone together. She's currently reading to 2 of our kids, so I got both. We were best friends in high school, pretty much inseparable. We ended up going to the same university, but grew apart there somewhat. She made a new group of friends, and so did I. After a year of not hanging out much, she messaged me on AIM, this was the early 2000s, and asked if I wanted to hang out and watch a movie. I said sure. It would be great to catch up and talk about old times. She had other ideas, and we ended up having Shreks that night. It didn't change our relationship much. We continued to grow apart, and after college we pretty much never talked again. We just moved in together a month ago and are having a wonderful time despite the pandemic. I slept with my best friend from my teenage years a few weeks after her long-term serious girlfriend, my close friend, cheated on her. We were friends at the time, but not too close. She came to visit a mutual friend while she suspected her girlfriend was cheating, and basically it was confirmed while we were all hanging out. She was heartbroken and I ended up going back home with her to help her kick her girlfriend, my friend, out. It was a real shoot show and she was heartbroken, and it put me in an awkward spot since I was actually close to the girlfriend at the time. She has completely alienated everyone else to run off with her 18, still in high school, new girlfriend and totally changed. We slept together and it was incredibly awkward and honestly terrible, but we ended up spending more time together and eventually dated and getting married next month now. This happened about 7 years ago. Not my best friend, but a very, very close friend. We tried the FWB thing for a little while, but eventually developed romantic feelings for each other and made the mutual decision to break it off, because we were both gonna be separated soon and neither of us wanted to do long distance. I've learned that there's such a thing as being too close to someone. That girl was, and still is, one of my biggest support systems. ABD has been for the past year and a half. We liked each other a lot, but our mental states weren't great, and if we started dating we would have been risking a messy breakup, and if I ever lost such an important person in my life, I don't know what I'd do. She felt the same way. We still talk all the time, about life, the future and our problems, as well as trade memes from time to time. I love making her laugh, but she's still one of my closest friends, a person I can talk to about anything, and I'm more than happy with that. I'll miss the cuddles though. We ended up married. Life is great. I get to be quarantined with my best friend right now. No place I'd rather be. We don't talk anymore after he wanted a more serious relationship, but I didn't feel ready for it. He was 18 about to go off to college, and I was 16. After that, we continued to hang out, but there was a bit of uncertainty on his end about our relationship. We gradually stopped talking. I reached out to him several months ago, but he never texted me back. Unfortunate, but c'est la vie. We actually became best friends after dating, calling it off. But then nearly 2 years later, things just started to fade. Not sure why, but I started to feel excluded towards the very end of it, and in general I subtly felt like a safe option to have around, or that I had to prove myself, rather than a friend you would treasure. I expressed how I was feeling a few times, but it felt like he was burdened by it. I felt like I found my person and we promised to always be in each other's lives. Can't help but think that maybe he thought I had deeper feelings and he began distancing himself because he didn't feel that way. I do know I was looking for more attention because I was losing touch with friends due to a job change, but I tried to be mindful as best I could given I felt alone. But that's just an assumption. Don't know if I will ever know. I left the job we both had and she is blocked on my phone. I had a strict rule against sleeping with co-workers, classmates and friends. She convinced me to break this rule. Was a critical error on my part. We dated for 3 years, had an awkward breakup, then stayed away for about 4 years and now we are friends again. It took some time. Me and my friend were hanging out with a couple other friends. We were playing truth or dare. We got dared to spend 10 minutes in the bathroom together. We were in there. Pretty awkward at first, but we ended up making out and touching each other. We were in there for 15 minutes before we realized it was time to get out. We come out. Everyone left. Check phone. Friends left to get food. We ended up fricking on the couch. Friends came back and we all ate. Friend: so what happened between you guys? Me: we fricked hardcore. Friend: yeah right, haha. Me: no seriously. Friend: sure man, whatever you have to say. We ended up sleeping in the same bed later that night after everyone fell asleep. We dated for a while. It ended up not working out, but we are still friends with benefits, and also best friends too. We dated for a while and it was amazing, but then when we broke up it was really weird. Yes, we were roommates and I thought she was pretty. I kissed her on the couch and moved to the bed. She chose me as her first. She couldn't keep her hands off me for years. My mother got really sick, so I ended it and moved back to the States. 7 years later, mom's passed. I mourned and she messages me every once in a while. She never took another. She's saving to move to the States. I'm saving for a house. Don't know if she'll ever get here. I tell her it's not worth the risk and she should stay with her friends and family. To let me just be a sweet memory. I don't know. My father isn't doing well now.